Yeah. Well, welcome to today's webinar. Actually, I'm broadcasting from Copenhagen. I'm hearing. Did you hear a baby laughing?
Mm-hmm.
Is that you, Pia? Whose baby is that?
This little beauty. Where is he?
Oh my gosh, we want it.
They want to look.
So that's your granddaughter.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
My little sweetie angel.
Hi, sweetie.
What's her name?
Vega.
Hi, Virga.
Uh-huh.
Hi.
You can say hey to hi. Du kan säga hej till allihopa. Vinka. Ja, jag vet.
Cute.
She wants to meditate. Do you want to meditate?
I think we have the star of our academy today.
I turn this on.
Okay. All right. Anything anybody would like to share with us before we start?
Well, today is election day in the U.S. Please wish us luck for the grand theatric. You'll know in 12 hours.
Yeah? Okay. Good luck.
We need it.
I don't think luck
The
is
world need it.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So, anything else? Nobody wants to say anything? Any revelation? Anything has happened? Any news?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I really want to say something. Last week, when I was driving on the highway on my way home from work, and where I was actually going to a client.
Mm-hmm.
I put on the GPS and to the address to the client, and I was sitting there in the queue, and suddenly I was driving down in the tunnel.
Okay.
But when I looked at the GPS, I was like, okay, I'm not there. I was in front of me. And I was like, oh shit, I drew wrong. And I looked at the GPS and this is wrong. And suddenly I was back.
So let me see. You were driving, and all of a sudden you found yourself in a tunnel.
Yeah, I was driving, say, 1 mile ahead.
Okay.
I was traveling I was like traveling down in the tunnel, driving in the tunnel.
But you weren't in the tunnel yet.
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
I was sitting on the highway, and I looked at the GPS and I said, shit, I drew wrong way. And I was like, but this is not, I'm not there yet. And suddenly I was back on the highway.
Right.
You're time warping.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So spiritual.
We can fly in the air with aliens.
You are so spiritual, Christina. You're having all these spiritual experiences.
Yeah, they're coming. It was great. A little bit scary because I was like, where am I driving?
Right. Okay. Anybody else? Anything like any revelations? Is your mind more quiet? Do you find it easier to deal with life?
I see aura. I see the aura very. I was have a meeting with a woman, and I look at her, and she has so strong aura. I have never seen it before, because it was not just around the head; it was all the body. And when she talk about love, and so I can see that the aura start to be pink, you know. Do you say pink? Yeah. And
Pink?
yeah, and when she talk about other things, the aura start to be yellow
Okay.
on her side. So that was interesting. I don't know if it was because she have a very strong aura or what it was, but I see it.
Well, obviously you were seeing something.
Yeah, I see light first, and it was like I said, all over her body. Because I can see it here. If I have that light white wall or black wall behind, but when this was visiting in the room and sitting and talking, and and then I start to see it, and it was very strong. So that is something new.
That's definitely something. Sorry, I'm moving around trying to find a location that there's more light in my face. So how does it look to you guys?
You should have the light in front of you more. You have it behind you now.
Fine. Yeah.
That's better.
The other option is to put
There.
it in
Now
my face.
you come.
Now we can see you.
That's it.
Oh, you look spooky.
You look getting pictured.
How about now? Let me see.
He is spooky.
Yeah, I know all about that.
Is it better now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I feel that I've been much more calmer after Copenhagen.
I would have felt much calmer after Copenhagen.
You too? That's great, huh?
It was a great interview, I think.
It was great.
Great. Yeah, it was a good interview with Gaia TV.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. That was an interesting, because they had scheduled me for Sunday. Go ahead, Ose. Go ahead. Hi.
About experiences the last weeks. I was talking about it, maybe it was the last Tuesday, that I have this cleansing and a very strong metal smell from my hands and my body.
Right.
And the last few weeks I have really, really heavy self-healing.
Self-healing?
Yes, really, really heavy. It's like it's taking over my body, like that, and it's so.
Did
It's like it's a really strong feeling, and I'm really exhausted after. So that's gets stronger and stronger.
Say the last part again. I didn't understand.
It gets stronger and stronger and more heavy. It's not like this. It's like very heavy. Move very fast, and it's like this.
Right.
Yeah. I'm exhausted after, and after that I'm very light.
Right.
Very
What were you saying? You were Hilda Hogan. You were gonna say something.
Did you say self-healing or something?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
It's like pumping.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, many different things can happen as you're just going on this journey. Whether it's energy or things happen to you, whether you see something, you know, you're experiencing, seeing something, like what Pia talked about, aura. or have an experience like you had, Christina, or what happens to you, Jose, or nothing. Maybe nothing happens.
But
Yeah.
something happened.
Huh?
But
What's that?
maybe you don't feel it from the beginning, but things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if what I'm talking about, if nothing happens, I'm not talking about realizations, that you don't realize things, that you don't feel lighter, or you don't notice calmness, or whatever. Your consciousness, your awareness is expanding to different realms. That, I mean, if that doesn't happen, then you wouldn't be coming back for more. Something is definitely happening. But what I'm saying is not necessarily you have to have a profound experience like disappearing into the tunnel, or feeling something physically happens to you, or seeing something visually. You know, it can be just very subtle and no profound experience like that. It could be that way too. So I'm sharing that with you so you don't get tripped over it. For those of you who say, oh wow, I feel a lot better. Definitely I feel expanded, more awake, more aware, feel better. But how come I'm not having any experience like that? And if I'm not having an experience like what Pia had, or what Ose had, then something's wrong. Okay? I'm just sharing with you that there's no certain pattern to this, that it has to be in a certain way. And of course, it's always a good confirmation. I mean, if you're having a profound experience, it's great. If it leads you to somewhere more quiet, if it doesn't lead you into a trap. So.
Because people are telling me that I've changed, you know, and I think it's going on day by day, so maybe I don't understand that I'm changing so fast, but the people around me, they are mirroring me, right? So something happens.
They say you've changed or they've changed.
Me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's quite subtle.
Yeah, it could be very subtle.
Yeah, it is.
Or it could be profound. Or it could be a period of time that there's a lot of profound things happening, and then it can just mellow down and nothing happens. I mean, we have a mutual girlfriend, she and I have, that she's always going through stuff. Or if she comes to an event of mine, or if I put my hand on her, she's immediately going through places and taking and da-da-da-da. And there are some people that they don't. They just, yeah. But it does happen.
Yeah, it does.
Like I said when I met you first time and be on your courses, I said that I want to learn to be in the fifth dimensional in my daily work, you know. So I can go in there and out there and in there and out there. I need to clean myself and love myself so that I can be that channel.
Right.
That was my goal from the beginning.
Right.
Yeah. And so for me, I don't know, but I think it start to be easier for me to be there. When I go up in my head, it's easier for me to come
right
inside again. Yeah. And when I'm healing, like I said before, when I'm healing and I just can be there, the healing is so much stronger than it is when I'm in my head a little bit and I'm healing a little bit. So
yeah, there's definitely a significant difference in doing your healing work from a very still and quiet and silent place versus being identified with your mind. Or if you're in a lot of turmoil emotionally, and there's a different quality if you're doing the work and you're just in this big emotional turmoil yourself versus being really quiet.
It's like I draw new people to me, new people who wants my healing too, not them who just want massage and this doesn't know that they get healing too. Now people come to me who really wants both the massage and the healing. So I think it's like I'm draw new people to me, new customers. Yeah.
That's great.
Great. Really great, Pia.
Yeah. I like that because it's so nice to just be yourself when you're working, not not have that liksom. not just give them with and they don't know what I do. I have you understand me?
Yeah. Yes, we do.
No, I don't understand. Really never heard of these things before. It's so new to me. Wow.
Tell me your experience.
Shut your mouth.
We're going to spank him when he gets back, Pia.
Yeah.
Beware.
I'm a little bit tired now too. So.
I was walking around a couple of times yesterday. Evening. The sun goes down early now, and it got very cold. And also today, at one point.
How cold is it?
Huh?
How cold is it in Copenhagen?
I don't know. I mean, I would say, I would say this time of the year.
-40, huh?
Everything's the same. I mean,
we got snow.
Let's see, change it. It's 0, right?
0.
It's 29 degrees in Los Angeles. Oh my God.
This week it's going to be 90 tomorrow, 92.
No kidding.
Wow.
92 Fahrenheit. It's 29 centigrade right now. So that means it's 84 degrees. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. I can't believe it. I mean, it's warmer than summer. Because summer that we had some really, cool days. It's -3 degrees in Stockholm, is -8 in Åre, and -4 in Oslo, and 0 in Copenhagen. Yeah.
Says Google, huh?
Huh?
Google?
Google?
Yeah.
Yeah. Googly Google.
Google.
So, but it was interesting because there was a time I didn't have a headband or anything, and I don't know, I think I got a little bit, not lost, but I was going a different direction, and it was really, really cold, and at one point I just felt like, it was like, okay, I had to pause in the middle of walking, and then I kind of closed my eyes and sunk into myself, and I sunk into cold, and just kind of let my body go, you know, just stop flexing myself. I just kind of surrendered into the cold weather. And just waited for maybe 30 seconds. I just kind of sunk into it. I said, okay. And it kind of like, it changed. It shifted. It was like surrendering into it and not fighting it and letting it just be. And there was like a quality or a feeling of maybe disconnecting from the cold, disconnecting from your body in a way, maybe. And then it just was normal. It became bearable. So. Slowly come back. Back here. It's nice to go to meditation without any kind of manipulation. When it happens on its own accord. Like today. Did anybody try to go into meditation, or it just happened?
Just happened.
It just takes over, doesn't it? Yeah. That's nice, isn't it? When you just... You don't do anything, and it just boom, it comes.
This group.
Yeah.
This group, just started.
Nice group.
And then we are together, liksom. Liksom. It's my word tonight. Liksom. It's my word tonight. So, okay. Do you know liksom, Zarathustra?
Liksom?
Liksom?
Is that an acid reflux? You drink it, or it's anti-acid?
Yeah. Sort of.
There isn't any word for liksom in English.
No? Liksom.
Kind of.
Liksom means lick.
Kind of.
Yeah?
Kind of.
Some.
Yeah.
Dumb.
Yeah.
Some. Dumb.
It was
Liksom.
nice. That's what I like to say.
So do you ever spend any time by yourself just sitting there and not doing anything? Any of you?
Yes.
And does this meditation come without doing anything? Do you ever experience it?
Yes.
Just sitting. Yeah.
Get easier and easier.
Yeah. It gets easier and easier. Yeah, because we're becoming more familiar with this natural state of ourselves. We're getting more familiar with this natural state. Really, I mean, it's something that we've experienced from childhood. There are many, many moments in childhood you spend time by yourself. Whether you had no choice, you were forced to it. You know, you were too little, you couldn't go anywhere, do anything. And you're you're in your bed up to a couple years old before you really can move around, or 9 months old or a year. At what age do kids start running around? Almost by 1, right?
Yeah.
But you still have a lot of moments as a child that you're by yourself. And mommy's not around, or she's in a kitchen cooking or doing something or washing something or whatever, and you're by yourself. And you're either quiet or you're crying, but a lot of times you're quiet. Obviously, you're not crying all the time. So it's once you start getting familiar with it again, it becomes very natural. And then it gets stronger and stronger and easier to go to this place, actually being around people who yak, wah, 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 they talk too much. Actually, it's annoying because you prefer being in this place by yourself than being around the company of blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
Papaji always used to say, seek the company of wise. And be around people who are they're meditative, they're in the same vibe. I'm not talking about the appearance of meditation, not the ones who are pretending that they're holier than the Tao. That's not what I'm referring to. We have a lot of them in LA, don't we, Shishi?
Yeah. Namaste.
Namaste. Oh. May you have a blessed day.
Wannabes.
There's a YouTube video called How to Be Ultra Spiritual, and I think everyone in LA has watched that.
Yeah, have you seen this guy? He dresses like a flower child and puts a mala around him. How to Be Ultra Spiritual on YouTube. No?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, next time you
I'll put it on the Academy page.
Yeah, and he's got a bunch of them on YouTube, but some of them are really funny. And if you live in LA, then you really identify with it. You can really, it really makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely don't think of myself as a good example of spirituality or having the appearance of spirituality, you know? I think I broke every rule that you weren't supposed to break. And if this energy, healing energy, this power wasn't behind it. So, you know, when I do my work, the proof is in the pudding. And if this wasn't behind it, so there was no proof, apparent proof, then there was, yeah, nobody would ever take me any seriously in this realm, because in so many ways I broke all the rules and I did everything I wasn't supposed to do.
Yeah.
In comparison to the very spiritual ones.
Well, I can put it on share screen if you want to watch it right now. It's not that long.
Yeah.
4 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys want to see it? What do you think, Zarathustra? Yes or no?
If everybody wants to watch it.
Let's take a vote. Who wants to watch How to Be Ultra Spiritual?
Maybe we can have a very good laugh.
It is really funny, and it's perfect for what we're doing.
Okay.
So let me share my screen.
You recording? I'm JP Sears. I'm ultra spiritual, and I'm going to teach you how to be ultra spiritual today. First, what you need to understand is ultra spiritual has nothing to do with actually being spiritual, because no one even knows what that actually is. Being ultra spiritual means you look spiritual. So let's get started. Practice competitive spirituality silently / passive aggressively. You're going to want to compare how spiritual other people are to yourself. Judging other people to be less spiritual than you makes you a better person than them. And that's exactly what makes you more spiritual than them. Hey, Kevin. Do you see how unconscious that guy is? Claim to be using your intuition when you're actually thinking about things. In fact, you're going to want to announce this to people every chance you get, because false intuition isn't true intuition till you get other people to believe that your false claims are actually true. Hey, Deanna, my intuition just told me to give you a call. Oh, I didn't see that you had called me. Talk about energy. You're going to want to integrate this into all your conversations. It'll seem meaningless to other people because it is, but don't let that stop you though. I love energy. I love chi. I love prana. I love life force. I love auras. I love chakras. It's all vibration. Rebel against dogmatic religious terminology by dogmatically using spiritual terminology. You'll want to keep your eyes closed extra tight on this one, so that you don't see that you're actually still subscribed to the exact same belief system that you're rebelling against, because now you're expressing the same concepts just with new words. Jesus loves you. The universe supports you. I'll pray for you. I'll send you white light. God will provide for you. The universe is abundant. It's all about getting into heaven. It's all about getting back to oneness. Hallelujah. Say the word based any chance you get. You need to stumble your way through mispronunciations of it and awkwardly using it in social situations where it doesn't actually fit. Namist, namast, namasta, namasti. Hold eye contact for awkward. Everyone else will call it intimate. Deny your pain. If you're going to be ultra spiritual, then you need to believe that being a human being and having these things called human feelings has nothing to do with a spiritual experience. You're breaking up with me? You've been sleeping with my best friend. No, I'm not hurt. It's all part of the perfection. It's all love. It is what it is. Use an exaggeratedly light tone of voice when you are talking to other ultra spiritual people. This is kind of like showing your ID to get into a bar. It proves that you belong. It's all love. just gotta follow your bliss. Do copious amounts of yoga, even though you have no idea why aggressively stretching your body and wearing $100 Lululemon pants relates to your spirituality. This one's good. I feel this. Which is helpful because I think hamstring is the French word for kundalini, which means this is reclassify all the ways you're irresponsible under the aggressively defend your position statement like you're an angel defending getting its wings cut off. Good job? I don't do the job. I want to be free, brother. Can I borrow a couple bucks? Seriously, I haven't eaten for like 3 days. Please be my abundance man. In here they say that if you subscribe to JP's YouTube channel, you'll become fully enlightened. So you might want to do that.
Yay!
I'm JP's guru. For me to ascend higher into the ultra spiritual realm.
So we can laugh at ourselves.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
I've done all those things, all of them.
Oh yes.
So
Funny.
about if we talk about judgment?
Judge.
You know, do you ever judge? Do you think judging is right or wrong? Anybody?
If it's right or wrong to judge someone,
Or whatever?
Why should you judge one?
What's that?
Yeah, why should you judge one?
Why should you?
Yeah, sometimes you do because you think it's wrong, but it's not up to you to judge anyone.
Yeah, but do we judge people or we don't?
We do.
We do.
More often than we think we do.
Yeah. So, is it okay to judge or not? Are we allowed to judge or not? I mean, obviously we're allowed because we do it. So it's not like something's forcing us not to judge. But judgment is a part of the way we are. I mean, we have to use our judgment every day, hundreds of times for different things. You have to decide on things and make a judgment over it, whether it's for you or not. Whether you want to go this direction, that direction, deal with somebody or not deal with somebody, cut somebody off, or continue your friendship with them, or whether they're lying to you or telling you the truth, whether you make a decision that you like them or you don't like them, to buy something, not to buy something. We make hundreds of different decisions that it comes to a final judgment of which direction to go, what to do. So obviously judgment is a big part of our everyday life and function. And without it, it seems like impossible to be able to be functional. So, I mean, let's say it's late night or you're walking by yourself. I mean, in the US, we're driving, we don't walk. But even, you know, you make a decision, you're walking somewhere in Copenhagen or Stockholm or Oslo, it's late night, you want to take a main road to get to your place, which is going to add a kilometer or two, versus you take a small alley and all of a sudden your destination is going to be cut in half. And you're going to make a judgment whether it's safe to go that direction or not. Or, you know, it's a natural phenomena of our function. But that is different. And of course, I mean, right now it's US elections, right? So do we want Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton? So haven't we made a judgment over the one we like?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So, yeah. But I think the kind of judgment that I've realized, if I would say something's right or wrong, you know, if we're talking about right or wrong, the immediate judgment is something that you cannot help because it's a thought that passes through your mind. You know, every day, especially here in Scandinavia or in Europe, because you walk on the street and you come across a lot of people. We have a lot of walking, which in the US we don't, we drive. So, or you're in the bus or you're in a subway, you come across a lot of people, and some you like, some you don't like. Or you're having a class, or we're at the expo, like this weekend. You're gonna see people you like. You're gonna see people you don't like. Anybody tells you that everybody I see I like him is a lie. I don't believe that. So you feel a resonance with some people, and you don't feel a resonance with other people. And that's how we make friends. We got best friends, close friends, versus thousands of people that you meet throughout your life. But there's only a handful of them that are very close friends. You know, if you have 10 very close friends, you're a very lucky person in your life, in my opinion. Most of us, or most people I know, they have, what, 2, 3 best friends, if you do, and they fall off. They may just come and go in your life. They may not be there all the time. Or it may change your connection with them. You know, sometimes they get married and their attention goes away to their family. Sometimes they move to another country. You don't see them for years and your connection changes with them. Or sometimes something happens, get in a fight with them, or something, some issue comes up, or your friendship changes its way, whether it gets better or worse. We all have experienced that. The part of judgment that I have a problem with, and for me it's an issue, is thinking that I'm better than anybody else, or especially on a spiritual path specifically, that I've seen a lot of judgment for people who claim to be spiritual. They have a guru, they have a teacher, and their guru and their teacher is the only way. And we see that with the Christian church, with Jewish religion, we see it with the Muslims, with the Hindus. If you look at the religious groups, that their way and their prophet and their holy book is the only way, and everybody else is a sinner. We all have experienced that. If you had any contact with a religion, when you may not be a part of it anymore, but definitely I would imagine you've experienced it at one point. Yeah, am I right?
Yeah.
Right. So I didn't grow up in a religious family, so my parents never imposed a religious practice on us. I've been inside of a mosque maybe 2 times in my life, or 3 times, and that was out of curiosity, not because we went in there, we were praying or anything. But as a culture, there was, and there is, a lot of prejudice over other religions. And then in the school of spiritualities that I've entered into, they were heavily judgmental against other groups. Some within themselves, you know. I mean, you come across it very easily. You can see it in different levels in spirituality. People who are like vegetarian and they're in the spiritual world, they're very proud to announce they don't eat meat. And you can see there is a level of, you know, there are people who are vegetarian and they're just very cool about it, you know? Right. But there are some that they're very like, oh, I'm vegetarian. Oh, I'm better, you know? I don't eat meat. or I don't drink alcohol,
Try to
or
find.
I don't smoke cigarettes.
Yeah.
Or you can just hear this judgment in it that I'm better, I'm more holier, I'm more spiritual.
Then you do it from fear, not from you do it because you don't do it from your inside yourself. You do it because you want to connect with something from outside yourself.
You mean by, are you referring to being...
To the religion. And everybody should be on the same way. They can't.
Well, it's a conditioning of the mind.
It's from the they do it out from fear. You understand me?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a conditioning. It's a conditioned mind.
It's not out from love or from love to themselves.
Well, it comes from lack of understanding, lack of spiritual understanding, really.
Okay.
You have a judgment against any other group that your way is better than anybody else's. Your spirituality, your way of connecting to the source is more special. It's
connect to something outside, from outside, not from inside of themselves. They connect to something outside.
Yeah.
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 And if you do that, you must see, oh, that is not so good. Like that, what I do, that one is not so good. Like my religion.
Right.
You need to have that to see that. If you could stay there, because you believe in something outside yourself. Group. I just thoughts come up when you talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's outside of yourself.
Mm.
That's right.
I've done it so many times. Many.
We all have done it.
Mm.
Preferences is a different story. You prefer something over something else.
Mm.
But basically in life, you don't have a choice. Your mind judges things automatically before you know it. How many times you pass by somebody and you just tell yourself, oh, they're so ugly, or they're whatever, or that person's too white, or that person's too black, or that person da-da-da-da, without even having a moment. And then maybe you pass by him and you just hear your mind says something. And then you tell yourself, oh God, I'm so sorry for being judgmental. I don't know why I'm making these judgments. But you didn't even have a moment to decide. And your mind already said something. A thought went through your head about someone's appearance or some situation, whatever it is. What about we hear about stories? Let's say, I don't know, such president of a country or head of a corporation or an actor or actress had an affair with somebody, or I don't know, a doctor had sex with his patients, or somebody, you know, a woman or whatever, and went and slept with someone else, and you hear this story. And what about those cases that we say, how could that person do? Shame on them or whatever. Have you done that? Has this ever happened for you? Like you're shocked that somebody, some figure that you know has done something that you're not expecting them to do?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
We all have.
Yeah, it happens all the time, doesn't it? But the reality of it is we don't know really what's going on inside somebody or what situation they were in, what's happening with them. There's so many different levels in when you see somebody's doing something that it's not ethical or it's not moral or it doesn't fit your way or your conditioning. A lot of times, in reality, we have no idea what's going on in their lives, why they're doing what they're doing, or the circumstances that they've been under. We're just judging them from what we hear or what we see. So, you know, I'm kind of separating and these judgments. I'm trying to point this out to you so you recognize judgment is just not one thing. You know? First of all, it is a part of our daily life. Okay? Right? But that's a different story. You're making judgments every day, hundreds of times over different things. But that's different than really judging other people because their ways are different than us. You know? Whether it's spiritual or the way they live, or their habits, or whatever. It's like if you grow up in an Islamic, very strict Islamic world, and women have to be covered all the time. You know, you can't show anything. You can't show your cleavage. And you can't walk around in summertime in your bikini or hot pants. You will be judged as a whole by the society. Society will judge you that you're a prostitute. I don't know if you've been in any heavy-duty, strict Islamic country.
Yes.
I mean, you definitely want to keep yourself covered so you don't get this heavy vibe. So that's one conditioning. But that's their way, their conditioning, the way they look at it. And then if you go to Jamaica, walking around in bikini is not an issue. And everybody may be having a joint in their hand and smoking weed. But then the same thing, if you do it in Scandinavia, you will be heavily judged because you're a weed smoker. But then if you're Scandinavian and you're in an Islamic country and you're drinking, then that's a major sin. You're definitely a sinner and going to go to hell. You know, it just depends. Where did you grow up? What is your conditioning? Who are your parents? Your society? How did your mind shape? And based on that conditioning, that's how you're going to perceive the world, and you're going to compare things without even knowing, without being aware of it, to the way you have been brought up. And you compare those two with each other.
What we build the life on is what we've been brainwashed to from the beginning. So it's first when you are older, you start to for yourself, is this me? Because when you're a child, you have your parents, you have your school teachers and everything, and you start to build your own reality of what you have been brainwashed since you was a child. Isn't it so?
Yeah, that's exactly. You get conditioned.
Yeah. Yeah. It's,
And also your life experiences. What you've gone through in your life.
The more you awaken, the more you expand, the more you get out of the box. I remember this is back in 1992, 93. We were sitting with Master Punjaji. And somebody asked him that, is there a code of conduct for an enlightened person? And I mean, it was definitely awake. I don't have any measuring tool. I don't have a box or something or a laser beam that I can beam pointed at somebody, and this beam, this tool is telling me this person is awakened and this person is not, or this person is highly awake or not. I have no way of knowing in that way, in that sense of my only, you know, like people say Dalai Lama is awakened, or Amaji, you know, hugging mother. You guys, you know, hugging mother. Yeah. So would you say Dalai Lama is awakened, enlightened? Everyone? Yes? No? You guys?
Yeah.
Raise your hand if you think it's enlightened. All right.
he was a special person.
But how do you know? How do I know he was a special or he is special? Except what I've been told.
No, but I have met him.
Well, yeah.
With him. So no, I really did. And it was special for me because I was young then, and younger, and he took my hands, and it was very special for me because I have never felt such what do you say, närvaro.
Presence.
Presence. He was very present when he say hello to me.
Right.
He always say hello to everybody.
Right.
And I was 29 then, and I was just start to go into my spiritual world again. And so for me it was special. I don't know if that is but he meditate every day. So
How do you know that?
I don't know.
Are you
Felt like that.
Are you with him all the time? How do you know he meditates every day?
No, but he had that presence when I met him. He was very present. Närvarande. Eller hur? Okay, but I don't know anything if I not have experience it. So you're right there.
So anyway, let's say back to what I was trying to share with you was I remember being around Papaji, and because that's a different subject, and I wasn't going to get into that. But what I was referring to, what I am referring to, is I remember we asked Papaji, is there like, okay, if, you know, obviously we all felt that he's awakened. Whatever awaken means, okay, that's a different story, and we can get into that too at some point. But there definitely, there was a quality to this person, and there was an intelligence that you would come in contact when you were around this person, that it was undeniable. You could not deny that you are at the presence of something. Something, we can call it awakened, enlightened. We can put a word to it. But definitely you, it was clear for me, I am at the presence of a much higher intelligence, an intelligence which is very much crystallized. You can touch it, you can feel it. Something is really happening being around this person. And so anyway, okay, I just for the sake of conversation, I refer to him as an awakened being. And in my opinion, he is awake, he's enlightened, okay? Just for the sake of conversation. And so we're there, we're sitting with the master, and would ask him, like, okay, Papaji, well, how do you act after you awaken? And I remember that he very clearly made it very clear to all of us that this is what he said. He said, where the lion goes, he cuts his own path. But where the lioness goes, she cuts her own path. And she starts her own way, whatever the way is. And there is no code of conduct for an awakened being. An awakened being is free. So they may do something which is totally wacky in your opinion or my opinion. I'm expecting someone who I call awakened do. And I judge them, and they may fall off the grace from the way I perceive them to be, because they're not doing what I'm expecting them to do. But they're going to do what they want to do. And then for them being righteousness, it has a different meaning. So someone who's awake and free, they may find it fit at one point to get in a fight, to punch somebody, or not. Or they may find it fit to do things that we're not expecting them really to do. But in the moment, they may find it fit to do it, and they do it. And of course, at that time, I didn't completely understand this. It took years. And I had to develop more and kind of expand my consciousness to understand that what being free really means. And I'm not referring to being reckless You say, oh, I'm really free, and then just doing really reckless stuff or very unconscious behavior, and then you cover it under that I'm free. There's another layer to it.
I guess you have your same personality.
What's that?
I guess you have the same personality if you are enlightened as before.
Yeah, I mean, most aspects of your personality, I mean, your personality as you live can change. You know, you can change to someone else.
No.
No?
No.
No?
You're not true to yourself if you do that.
But you can change to someone else. As for example, let's say you're married to someone and your personality changes in the marriage, or they change. Personality is something can change, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I know what you're referring to.
Yeah.
The very essence or basics of who you are doesn't change throughout your life. So it can, but most of the time, there are minor changes. I mean, of course you change to someone else, if the more you wake up to yourself, the more you settle into this place, and that anxiousness and anxiety starts to disappear.
Yeah.
So the way that you used to be before, that you're operating from this anxiousness and anxiety, slowly disappears, and you just settle down into this place. Thank God.
Yeah.
You become more of the essence of you then, right?
In a way, you can say it that way.
Yeah.
There is a freedom that takes place because your mind is becoming free from the judgment.
Yeah.
Even judging yourself and all these judgments that we have over other people or the way they are. There's a sense of acceptance of what is. You begin to accept life as is. All aspects of life.
You get more true to yourself, I think.
Yeah, well, that's the more you awaken, the more true you become to yourself.
Yeah. And you maybe change your life because you feel that you are going to do something, because it has been inside you for a long time, but now it's coming out. You're more true to yourself.
Yeah.
I can feel that myself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's because those parts that you're not true to yourself become transparent.
Yeah.
You begin to see fakeness in yourself, or the parts that they were asleep, and the robotic parts that you were acting like a robot and doing things that because you're expected to do, and you were doing it to be a good girl, you were doing it to just keep the peace, make everyone else happy, or whatever.
Yes.
And you're awakening to yourself. So therefore, you can see those robotic habits, and therefore you break them because you see it. You're able to change them by becoming true to yourself in a way, or in a different way of putting it is like, where you start saying, okay, this is really not what I want to do. I've been doing it for years to please my daddy, to please my children or husband or whatever, but this is really not what I want to do. So there's light on it.
Yeah. And I see that I really don't care what everyone else think and do anymore. Right?
Yeah, I mean...
Of course, you love the people around you, but I really don't care what I think.
Cool. Yeah, right.
I really don't care.
Yeah, it's freedom. You're starting to become free. You know? One of the people who taught me this very clearly and was very strong overdoing it was my best friend Ernie, who passed away 2.5 years ago. He was really like a master in it. Like, there was no way I could get him to do something he didn't want to do. We would want to, you know, and we had many battles with each other. But he taught that to me, you know? It's like we want to go out to a fancy dinner, and I'm all dressed up in a two-piece suit, and he would wear a T-shirt with a Mickey Mouse on it and a pair of tennis shoes. And I'm like, Ernie, come on, can you just wear nicer? He says, I don't give a shit. This is who I am. And I'm just like, please, will you put something on? Will you change? I said, I don't give a damn, man. I'm not a robot. I'm not. And, you know, it wasn't my way. And I would be very embarrassed. We're going out to dinner to this fancy place, and I'm really embarrassed. I'm trying to somehow cover it up. Really give a shit.
So you were just following them, right?
Huh?
You were just following him then in his Mickey Mouse outfit, and you dressed better.
I was following him?
Yeah, you was just following them. Just forget it.
Right.
I don't care. I don't care.
Till the hardcore.
Vill du ha korv?
Hardcore.
Yeah, he definitely taught me, because, you know, I came from this Persian background, this Iranian upbringing from age 5 to 19. I mean, I lived in Iran. And this, you know, from this class of family that, oh, don't do this, this is bad, or da-da-da-da, or make sure you wear a tie, and or we would go to see my aunts or uncles or whatever, and, oh yeah, you know, if they offer you, do you want some fruits or whatever, only take one piece, don't take two, it's not good, it's bad. Or if they offer you tea, you have to say yes, you know, you have to accept that it's bad if you don't offer it, or don't put your legs on each other in front of elders, or, you know, there was a lot of do's and don't do's. It was very proper. And I had this conditioning of bad, good, no, don't do this, no, don't do that. So, and he broke all of these things. He wasn't forcing him on me, but as an example, he was an example of doing what he wanted to do. And it was beautiful to see that, being really close to someone, you know, being brothers. And definitely was my guru teacher for a long time, unofficially. and breaking a lot of my conditioning and patterns through observing him firsthand, the way he lived his life. He was free in so many ways.
That must be wonderful to have a friend like that.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, there was when we first met, for 4 years, we were inseparable. We were together every day, all the time, like a couple.
Mm-hmm.
But I learned a lot. But you just, there is no like, we're back to what we were talking about. We were talking about judgment.
Yeah.
I didn't have any particular thing in my mind when we first started at our webinar. I didn't know what to talk about. And for the first 45 minutes, I really had nothing to say. That's why we had big patches of silence, because there wasn't anything would come for me. But then I kept hearing the word judgment. So we started talking about it, and then the conversation started to flow. Because a lot of times when we get together, I don't really know what I'm going to talk to you about. If I think about it ahead of time, it doesn't happen. I just have to wait for it to come naturally and trust that it will come out. But this word came. And obviously there is the US presidential election, and we all have our preference who we want to win. If we can choose between the two, I mean, we don't have many choices. There's only two people you have to choose between.
Mm.
So, and then when we talk about judgment, we went to spiritual judgment and all these blah blah blah. And just to go back to this, we can talk about this more in the future, but this is my experience. I can only speak of my personal experience and knowing that I have come to. Not someone else's, not what I've read in a book, not what Osho is saying or someone else is saying. Maybe my teacher has said something, but then it has become my own knowing, and I've come to it. And there's different levels and there's different types of judgments. There's a judgment that you have to make on a daily basis on different affairs of your life. And it's absolutely imperative to do that. But there's also judgments that we have over other cultures or styles or religions or whatever, looks or. And the more you get expanded, the more you start to see that if you're really coming from a judging place, or you're coming from this place of you don't necessarily have to like other people's ways, but it's their ways.
They are who they are.
Yeah, I don't have to like the Nazis. I don't have to like the communist way or the corporation ways or the way whatever is happening today. A form of Nazism is happening by media or corporation. I don't have to necessarily like it. Or I don't have to like the way so many people living their lives, or the way they look, or the way they eat, or the way they smell, or the way, whatever they do. But there's a deep understanding and acceptance of what is the way it is. And they don't have to, obviously, they may not like the way I look or the way I operate. And I can feel that very, very easily when I'm in public, or if I'm in a mesa or someplace like that. I can just feel it. People like me, don't like me, they're judging me or not. But it's okay. They're free to go through their motions. But my responsibility, my part is that, can I go beyond my own judgment? Can I see through and see the essence of everyone? Can I see the light, the spirit, God within them? Do I see that as their essence? Not as their appearance or their character, the way they are, because that part I may not like. But can I see deep within of really who they are, and see that they also carry the same amount of spirit and God, whatever word you want to put, within them as much as I do and everybody else. And nobody really has more God in them than other people. Maybe it's shining much brighter, but their amount, I don't think there's more or less from.
Yeah. Thank you for talking about this today, because now you have been giving me some answers.
You're welcome.
Suddenly, everything just fit, so to speak.
So the next time we should look at our judgment. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, you get to look at it every day, you know, because it's happening all the time.
Yeah.
As I said, there's different type of judgments.
Yeah.
Some is absolutely imperative to your well-being throughout the day, and some are ideas of how things should be or how things should not be. And, you know, especially in a spiritual way, spiritual groups, because I've been part of different spiritual groups in different times in my life, and that there was definitely a very strong judgment to other people, like, oh, we're really much higher spiritually and everybody else is unconscious because we follow this guru, or we do this practice, or we're vegetarian, or we're having sex, or we're wearing maroon, or we're da-da-da-da, or we get up every day and we meditate. I mean, I love it to, when I come across people who I feel this judgment or this prejudice, and they ask me, you meditate? And I say, I hate meditation. I hate meditation. And they're like, oh, really? Zarathustra? Oh, you know? And they may have seen some of my tapes of the things happen, you know? Again, you know, the proof, you know, it's because I got this thing backing me up so I can say these things or do these things. But how can you, what is your practice? I go, I drink tequila.
That's the essence, huh?
And dancing. Dance.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, as I said, if, you know, yeah, because you get to this point that you realize that none of these things has to do with any of it. I mean, the more your mind becomes free, the more you free yourself of any kind of set of rules or conducts or way that somebody has to be in order to be awakened or spiritual. You start to see, I'm not saying these things to give you license to go become an alcoholic, okay?
No.
And conscious and just be stupid and bang your head against the wall and drive your car into people's lawns or run people over. And this is not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about going beyond judgment.
Yeah.
And also, yeah, going beyond all these ideas of how something should be or should not be. And just really staying in your heart and see what feels right, you know? And what feels right for you is not necessarily the way for somebody else.
You must be who you are and do what you like to do.
Yeah, I mean, if it's good to you, it's good for you.
Do things that make you happy.
Yeah. Yeah, but you may be doing something happy that it's just, you know, it makes me happy. Maybe I want to turn on the stereo at 3 in the morning so loud and I'm dancing up and down and screaming and it's just disturbing the entire building and the neighbors, you know? So then, you understand what I'm talking about? Because that's not even a certain formula that, because that also goes into this place of selfishness, that I don't give a shit about anybody else in this building, and I'm going to do what makes me really happy. And, you know, I got the stereo really loud at 3 in the morning, and, you know, that also can go into this selfishness.
Yeah.
You know, this not aware.
Think about the people around you, of course.
Yeah, exactly. You know?
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Within, that's where your judgment comes, of judging it, how far, you know, how public this happiness could be, how public, you know, maybe it makes me really happy taking my clothes off and go, okay, I'm free. I'm going to go walk on Newhan on the strip naked. Well, you're welcome to do that, but in a few minutes you're going to be arrested and you have to deal with consequences. They're going to take you to the police department. But I'm free. Okay, yeah, you're free, but there is limits in a society within the things you can do.
Yeah.
So that's where we just go in there and we're really using our GPS and getting in tune to it. There's no set rules of you, but circumstances change and different time in your life. Circumstances requires you to be a certain way. You know? So, and that's what Papaji was sharing with us. That's what he was trying to convey. That, yeah, you're awakened, you're free, and you cut your own path, but in the meantime, you're aware of and awake of what is going on in your surrounding, what's happening. So we when? Oh yeah, it's 9 o'clock.
Now that I have a question.
Yeah.
During this webinar, what is the difference between the cold and the warm energy? Because now I've been surrounded by really cold energy all the time. Is it, what is the difference between cold and warm energy?
I don't know.
No.
I don't know of such a thing of cold or warm energy.
Yeah. No, all is energy, of course, but it was been really Friday.
Feeling colder or you're feeling warmer?
Hmm?
You're feeling cold, you're feeling warm. I'm not sure warm energy or cold energy.
No, but I have been surrounding by energy that was really cold. And other times I feel a warm energy, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
No.
They just try to show you the differences, that it's maybe coming different entities to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, je ne sais pas.
Easy.
I can make up a story for you if you like.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
Yeah. Like that's the cold energy or da and certain.
Yeah, but I'm just curious, you know.
No, I'm just joking with you.
Yeah. Oh, really?
You know, I'm just.
Yeah, I understand that.
Right.
I experienced the same thing as you, and that's what I think it is. Just to because today it was during the meditation, something came that is called cold, but it's felt the same.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, I mean, I've done healing work that the room gets ice cold. There's been times that I'm doing healing work that it gets really cold, or there's a cold breeze happening in a room, and times that it gets really warm.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That is just the way it is, right? Don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The heat is here. The cold is here.
What would you say, Pia? Huh?
I don't know. Maybe somebody else has an answer. Maybe if you go online and research it. Some people say that the presence of a spirit, you know, sometimes when these spirits, they come to help you or whatever, and they pull in a lot of energy in the room and the room gets cold. I really don't have an answer.
Okay.
So.
That's okay.
Yeah, man. So it's nice to see you all.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice to see you too.
Very nice.
Yeah, it was sweet. So next Tuesday, same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
We get together. I don't feel like going.
It was difficult today. 9 o'clock already. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean when you're having these lovely conversations about awareness and awakeness and the spirit and God, it's so yummy and it's so sweet that you just don't want to go.
No.
I'm proud.
Very nice.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
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 Nishi, are you around?
Yeah, I'm here.
She's falling asleep.
In bed. She's
She's falling asleep. Bye. Bye.
Bye, Shishi. Love you.
Love you.
You guys, great to see
good. Yeah.
So we can chit chat for 5 minutes?
Yeah, 5 minutes. That'll work.
Yeah? Okay. All right. You want me to FaceTime you or just stay?
That's cool. FaceTime me.
Based on you. Okay.